Have you ever met someone you simply could not let go of, even after the relationship ended, even after the pain, even after the betrayal, even after months or years had passed? Somehow they still occupied your thoughts. You still replayed old conversations. You still felt emotionally connected. You still struggled to move forward. You told yourself it was over, but your heart refused to believe it. If that sounds familiar, you may be dealing with something many Christians rarely talk about: a soul tie. And whether people acknowledge it or not, soul ties are quietly destroying many Christians. They are stealing peace. They are delaying healing. They are keeping people emotionally trapped in relationships God may have already called them to leave behind. Today, we are going to talk about what soul ties are, how they form, the signs they may be affecting your life, and how God can help you find freedom. The truth is that not every relationship leaves the same impact. Some people enter our lives and leave a memory. Others leave a wound. But some leave an attachment so deep that even after they are gone physically, they remain emotionally present. You think about them constantly. You compare everyone else to them. You struggle to imagine life without them. And often, you do not even realize how much control that attachment still has over your heart. A soul tie is an unhealthy emotional, mental, or spiritual attachment that keeps you connected to someone in a way that interferes with your relationship with God and your ability to move forward. Many people assume soul ties only happen through physical intimacy. While sexual relationships can create powerful emotional bonds, soul ties can also form through emotional dependency, toxic relationships, manipulation, trauma bonding, and unhealthy attachments. This is why some people become emotionally connected to someone they never even dated. You can develop a soul tie through constant communication, emotional vulnerability, obsession, or placing someone at the center of your emotional world. Over time, that person becomes more than a relationship. They become an emotional stronghold. And that is where the danger begins. Because God never intended another human being to occupy the place in your heart that belongs to Him. One of the biggest signs of an unhealthy soul tie is emotional obsession. You cannot stop thinking about the person. Their name triggers emotions. Their social media controls your mood. A text message from them can make your entire day. Silence from them can ruin your entire week. Your emotional stability becomes connected to their behavior. And slowly, without realizing it, your peace becomes dependent on another person instead of God. Another sign is that you keep returning to relationships that consistently hurt you. Deep down, you know the relationship is unhealthy. You know it is damaging your emotional health. You know it is pulling you away from peace. But every time you try to leave, something pulls you back. You find yourself making excuses. You overlook red flags. You tolerate disrespect. You ignore warning signs. Not because you are weak, but because unhealthy attachment has clouded your judgment. Many people mistake emotional intensity for genuine love. But intensity and love are not the same thing. A relationship filled with chaos, confusion, and emotional highs and lows may feel powerful, but that does not make it healthy. God is not the author of confusion. Healthy relationships produce peace, trust, respect, and stability. Another sign of a soul tie is when you cannot move forward even after the relationship ends. Months pass. Years pass. Yet emotionally you remain stuck in the same place. You struggle to open your heart again. You compare every new person to the old one. You keep reliving memories. You keep hoping for reconciliation even when God is clearly leading you in another direction. The relationship may be over physically, but emotionally it continues controlling your life. And that control becomes a prison. The enemy often uses unhealthy attachments to keep believers trapped in yesterday while God is calling them into tomorrow. Think about that. How many opportunities have been missed because someone refused to let go? How many blessings were delayed because someone kept looking backward instead of forward? How many people are praying for healing while still holding tightly to the source of their pain? Freedom begins when honesty begins. You cannot heal from what you refuse to acknowledge. You cannot break free from an attachment you keep defending. The first step toward freedom is admitting the truth. Perhaps the relationship was unhealthy. Perhaps the connection became an idol. Perhaps you gave someone a place in your heart that belonged only to God. And while that realization may be painful, it is also the beginning of healing. God never condemns us for being wounded. He heals us. He restores us. He teaches us how to love in healthy ways. Many Christians carry soul ties because they are trying to fill emotional voids that only God can fill. Loneliness becomes attachment. Fear becomes dependency. Rejection becomes desperation. And before long, people begin looking to human relationships for security, identity, and worth. But no human being was designed to carry that burden. Only God can provide the security your soul truly needs. Only God can satisfy the deepest hunger of your heart. This is why emotional healing is so important. Sometimes God delays new relationships because He is healing old wounds. Sometimes He removes people from your life because He knows they cannot go where He is taking you. Sometimes what feels like loss is actually protection. And sometimes what feels like rejection is actually redirection. If you are struggling with a soul tie today, understand this. Healing is possible. Freedom is possible. You are not trapped forever. You are not required to spend the rest of your life emotionally chained to someone from your past. God's power is greater than your attachment. His peace is stronger than your pain. His future is bigger than your history. Breaking free may require difficult decisions. You may need to stop revisiting old conversations. You may need to stop checking their social media. You may need to establish healthy boundaries. You may need to release the fantasy of what could have been. Because healing cannot fully happen while you continue feeding the attachment. Every day, choose surrender. Every day, choose obedience. Every day, choose healing. And little by little, God will restore what unhealthy attachments have stolen. One day you will wake up and realize the person who once controlled your emotions no longer controls your peace. The memories may still exist, but the chains will be gone. The scars may remain, but the bondage will be broken. And instead of looking backward with regret, you will move forward with hope. Because God never intended you to live emotionally imprisoned by your past. He created you for freedom. He created you for healing. He created you for peace. And the moment you place that relationship, that attachment, that pain, and that person into God's hands, you begin stepping into the freedom He has always wanted for you. If this message spoke to your heart, remember this. The strongest relationship you will ever have is not with another person. It is with Jesus Christ. When that relationship is healthy, every other relationship in your life becomes healthier too. Choose freedom, choose healing, choose God, and trust Him with your heart.